brought about a massive change. The 21st century has brought about a massive change in the world of education. Gone are the days when teaching was limited only within the confines of a classroom. The internet has brought about a paradigm shift in the fundamental way in which learning is done. It has taken learning beyond the hallowed walls of the universities and into the palms of everyone. Hence, the theme of the conference, International Education Now at the Touch of a Button, is apt for the current times. A very good morning to our honorable guest and all the attendees. I am Dr. Divya Bansal, Assistant Professor at Amity University Online. A heartfelt welcome to Mr. Ajit Chauhan, that is Chairman, Amity University Online, Guest of Honor, Professor Fatima Carioca, Director Academics, Dr. Priya Mathews, Director EDDOE, Professor Abhinash Kumar, and all the deans, head of the institutions, faculties, students, and all the international and national participants. Welcome to Amity Global Online Education Conference, which aims to provide a platform for discussion and networking with pioneers in the edtech space, exchanging their best ideas to pave the way for a future of online learning. The world of education, as we knew, has changed drastically, and the push towards digital has been accelerated by the pandemic. This session sets the context of the marathon virtual conference, a unique one at it. The panelists discuss various opportunities and share some of the most disruptive strategies, plans, and ideas that will shape the education space in the coming years. This conference has 7 sessions starting from 9 a.m. Indian time to 7:30 p.m. Indian time. The participants have the option of not only joining the sessions, but also engaging with us through breakout rooms during lunchtime and tea time. That is 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., and 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. We believe all of you are co-creatives with us to move and shake the potential of online learning. You can get into the rooms when you go to the home page and see the icon at the top. I would request Professor Abhinash Kumar, Founder Director, Amity University, to do the inaugural of the conference. Professor Kumar was the humble founder of Amity School of Distance Learning, which slowly grew under the aegis of Amity Directorate of Distance and Online Education, and stands at strength of large number of learners. Professor Abhinash started his career with World Bank and gradually shifted to education. With his immense knowledge of government policies and procedures, he was responsible for initiating the online education program and leveraged every opportunity to receive the approval from Government of India. Further, he was the pioneer in launching multiple successful projects such as eVidya Bharti, which is a project of MEA Government of India, Amity MOOC, Amity Open Learn, Amity International Centers in African countries and Middle East. He has contributed his views in many leading newspapers and journals. Professor Abhinash has been with Amity for more than 2 decades. I request sir to share the inaugural message with the audience. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Divya, and good morning to all, and namaste from India. In consonance with the glorious tradition of Amity University for hosting important webinars, we welcome all the elite members present here in Amity Global Online Education Conference. This is indeed the historical day for all of us. We are highly jollity with the esteemed presence of an audience and brilliant speakers. On March 11th, 2020, when WHO uh, announced COVID-19 as a pandemic after assessing the global outbreak, it was the kind of situation uh, for the entire fraternity of education, for that matter, the entire economy of the world, is to find the next opportunity, and especially for the academic fraternity, is to find the next opportunity to teach their students and to survive. The online education was the immediate thought for all these players. And without any further procrastination, the world, the entire education fraternity adopted this online methodology of teaching. You would realize that during this pandemic, 80% of the educational institution, right from the uh, nursery to postdoctoral education, were disrupted just because of this pandemic and still facing that challenges. Online learning is relatively the newest form of distant education, although it has practiced for decades, often referred as e-learning. It takes a place on the internet. For Amity, the concept of online is quite familiar. In fact, Amity University online is the first Indian university in the country to be conferred to award online degree. Currently, over 200,000 students are pursuing the various programs through Amity Online. The entire student of Amity from pre-nursery to postdoctoral were continued to attend classes even after WHO announced the global pandemic. And that is the sincerity and the religious progression in the online business from the Amity. Since 2000, the practice started way back in the year 2007, when the government of India and the president then, Dr. Kalam, announced on the international platform that he has some gift for the African friends. And everybody is astonished and surprised that what is this gift is all about. And it was then announced that it is a gift of education and the free education for certain African nation students. It was also a very difficult situation for the president is to find the appropriate universities to offer this program. And of course, Amity were one of the very first to be picked to take this project on behalf of the government of India to teach African students. And since then, the beginning of online education started, although it was the satellite mode of teaching, but then gradually converted into online education. So that is a small little history of Amity Online and its beginning. Online education has since paved the way for the pedagogical shift. In this mode of learning, teachers and instructors function as a guide, while the student become active collaborator, but not the passive learner. The business of e-learning or the online is not new. It has taken its way before the pandemic, and it is expected to reach at a growth of 3.36 billion USD by the end of 2026, at a compound annual growth of 9.1%. So we all can imagine the potential of online education. During the pandemic and till now, it is estimated that more than 60% of students are enrolled for at least one online program. The learning management system, LMS, will continue to play a crucial role for providing customized and more social online learning experience. Learning Experience Platform, LXP, we call it, is the next level experience for all the learners. Amity's LMS, Amigo, is the first platform which was permitted by Indian regulators to deliver the online program. Videos are the most effective components and the content on the internet today. When it comes to the online learning and development, video is more preferred medium compared to the text documents. At Amity, It's engaging and interactive content format. Online video is seen as a vital part of online education and workplace learning. Four quadrant approach has been the most adopted part of the teaching. Incidentally, the concept of examination, online examination, which is also known as the remote proctoring examination, has taken a place in the format of online mode. This has given a lot of convenience to the student. The student can write this examination, take this examination from any part of the world as convenient, of course, within the stipulated time being provided by the university. So that is one of the very good mode. In fact, this is technology enabled examination where the tech manages the examination. But Amity has gone beyond. Amity with the technologies also enabled its proctors to monitor this examination. So this is how is this the online examination, remote proctoring examination that we talked about. More advanced virtual technologies have found their way into the online education. These technologies include virtual reality VR and augmented reality AR. Virtual reality refers to the technology that provide users with the immersive experience. This is quite expensive, but you would realize that all Fortune 500 countries had adopted the virtual realities for training their people. So this is one of the very, very important component that most of the universities and the colleges in the era of online will adopt. Another study found that students believe in mobile device. Now, this has become very, very common for all of us. And mobile seems to be one of the easiest component to adopt the online learning. A global higher education is one of the sector affected by COVID-19 pandemic. However, the challenges of today also present opportunity for leveraging online learning for higher education even further. One can expect steady growth in the number of students turning to online learning in the coming years. So in that way, we see that the emergence of online education is, of course, not new, but with this COVID, in fact, it has taken its place in the education fraternity and become the only source for the students in past and in future also. You talk of any Ivy League university today of the world, you would realize that online education is one of the important component that they have adopted. Every universities are using this online methodology of teaching. They have adopted the emerging tech programs and the effective programs for the students. With this, I would not like to take much of your time because there are many speakers, the brilliant speaker here. We should give them all opportunity and option to speak on. We have fortunately our young dynamic chairman, Mr. Ajit Chauhan, also with us. And he's going to be a next speaker, and we all have always enjoyed listening to him, and we will continue to enjoy his speeches. So over to you, Divya.
Thank you very much, Professor Abhinash, for sharing your experiences and enlightening the audience about the core structure components of various programs offered by Amity Online. Nothing can be more assuring and heartwarming than affectionate words of inspiration. I will now introduce our beloved chairman, Mr. Ajit Chauhan, a young and dynamic entrepreneur with expertise in business innovation. Mr. Ajit Chauhan has been spearheading Amity University Online. He has inherited Amity's vision of building the nation through education and is devoted to create a transformative learning environment, a digital classroom with true mobility and access to education from anywhere. Sir has been a pioneer and extremely effective as a visionary leader. Amity is the first university to go 100% online. A lot has been done under his leadership. Let us hear from him. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Divya, for the kind introduction. Um, a very nice speech, Professor Abhinash. Thank you for giving the landscape of online education in India and details around it. A very warm welcome to Dr. Maria Fatima. We look forward to your talk on online education and best practices, international best practices in Portugal and Europe, and we will, I'm sure, learn a lot from the same. Good morning, Dr. Priya, and we are in your conference. We are in your hands today for the entire day. And firstly, congratulations that this is the first conference by Amity University online.
Yes.
And virtual truly means global. And we can see that in all these sessions going forward, where we have speakers from across the world. So it'll be good morning, good evening, or good afternoon to whoever is listening and whoever will be talking. But this truly validates the model of online education, because if virtual conferences can transcend boundaries, can go across time zones, and can offer a collaborative platform, then so can online education. And we all as Amity University Online and online educators are a validation of that model, and going forward will be as well. We are in a very interesting time. Dr. Maria, I'm sure you'll be reading about it often about in India, and Dr. Priya and the colleagues would have been briefing you and all the listeners as well, that India is in the brink of an education explosion. With the, like Professor Abhinash mentioned, with the recent regulations a few years ago, 2 years ago, of formalizing online education, with Amity becoming the first player in India, in the history of India, to get approval to offer a wide range of online programs, with our learners at 40 million learners at the moment, expected to grow to 52 million learners in the next 3 to 4 years, and 92 million learners by 2035. It offers an enormous platform for any education provider, but more essentially, online education. Because as we all are aware, that in India, it is a problem of scale. It's a problem and the opportunity of scale. It is impossible to go to every single town, every single village, every single nook and corner of India with a physical campus. The only way to reach learners, to impact learners, to increase employability of young students in India is via online education. This has been proven by the National Education Policy that was recently taken out by the government of India, in which they have given an essential push, a very positive push for distance and online. It has been proven by many speeches by our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in which they have stressed upon online education and the top 100 institutions of the country getting online education approval to be able to be effective and educate a large number of learners. It is our vision by our Honorable Founder President of Amity, Dr. Chauhan, to impact as many learners as possible, to impact lives, to take quality education, to take innovative quality education to all parts of the world, not only in India. And of course, our team at Amity, who is continuously on a daily basis striving and working to offer better quality, better innovation for the students. How do we make our students more employable? How do we make our students more effective? So this online education conference, Dr. Priya, could not come at a better time. The sessions that you have very wisely selected about employability, about education post-pandemic, and many other sessions for today are very wisely chosen, because these are all essential topics, all essential conversations that all online educators must brew in. We are all in one ecosystem. We are all in a global online education ecosystem. And all of us as educators have that responsibility, have that moral responsibility to make sure that students, no matter where in the world, get the best. So all these sessions today, I'm sure throughout the day will be very enriching. We'll have great input. and hopefully very good output in which we can take key takeaways for all our respective institutions. We should all ensure, whoever is listening, or to the entire Amity team who is listening, we should all ensure that we try to learn from the best. We try to take notes and try to implement what we have learned in our day-to-day actions that we take when dealing with students. Such chances to hear from such international renowned speakers and Indian renowned speakers are rare. We don't often get them, but when we do, then we should take maximum advantage of it. So Dr. Priya, thank you for having me on this platform. And of course, I will be conversing throughout the day. It's just not the inaugural session, I hope. I will be allowed to come in and converse during some other sessions as well. I look forward to interacting with such great speakers that you have brought on board, including Dr. Maria and the other speakers throughout the day. And so again, best of luck for the conference. And I'm sure that there will be key takeaways, because like Dr. Chauhan always says, we need to measure output. Whatever work we do, even if it's a conference, we need to measure what is the output of a conference. So if you're organizing a conference, then the key takeaway should be that, can we develop a concept paper or some key salient features, points from this conference that could be taken away in actionable points that can be distributed not only to Amity, but across the world to online educators as a key summary of the global online education best practices, or however we will define or word that document. Dr. Priya, we can think about that. But so great, all the best, and thank you.
So, as a symbol of inauguration, Chairman Sir, I want you to go to reactions and select any of the emoji there. And Professor Abhinash, you also, please inaugurate the session by using this particular, if you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see it. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's
any reaction is dangerous.
absolutely how you feel.
Okay, we feel ecstatic. We feel ecstatic, so we'll give a smiley face. Great.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I have rather clapped on this.
Thank you, Professor Abhinash. Over to you, Dr. Divya.
Thank you very much, Ajit sir, for sharing your vision and thought process with the audience. Sir believes in expanding the scope of digital technology in education beyond geographical boundaries and using it to offer both students and working professionals a rewarding career prospects in future. It is my great honor and privilege to introduce Professor Maria Fatima Carioca as our guest of honor. Professor Carioca has been the Dean of AESE Business School since 2014, where she also is a Professor of Leadership and People Management since 2005. She holds a DBA from Manchester University and is a scholar in the areas of work-family balance, leadership, people management, business ethics, and social responsibility. She has also authored several articles and chapters, namely Free Markets with Solidarity and Sustainability, which was published by CUA Press in the year 2016. She was a founding member of the Portuguese Business Ethics Committee and coordinator of the Family Responsible Enterprise Award from year 2005 to 10. Formerly, she was an executive in the software industry. I request ma'am to share her insights on online education with all of us and yours. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Diva. Good morning, everyone. The dear Chairman, Mr. Chairman, also dear fellows and of the Amity University, and also everyone who is live attending the live streaming section. Thank you also, Professor Priya, Mary, for the invitation. I must say it's for me an honor, and I'm really happy to attend this global online conference. We could stop here right now because every one of us right now is experiencing the advantages of a digital world. It is a marvelous, brand new world full of possibilities. Just look at us, bringing together so many people from different locations around the world without having to travel. It's not science fiction, but I dare to say that is the most similar to telex transportation that we managed to reach so far. Allow me to begin with my school, the school I currently serve as Dean since 2014, as Dr. Divya has said before. I come from AESE Business School, a standalone business school in Lisbon, Portugal. Yes, you have heard it well. It's Portugal, on the other side of the world. And in this school, AESE, we are the Asian Portuguese Business School. We were founded in 1918, and we are celebrating our 14th anniversary during the previous academic year, 2020-2021. So local, we have a global mindset as we belong to the network of 16 associated business schools of AESE Business School, which, as you probably know, the #1 in Financial Times ranking all over the world. With them, we share the methodologies, the faculty, the knowledge, and also, and mostly, the values. AESE mission, our mission is to educate leaders who strive to have a deep, positive, and lasting impact either on people, on companies, and society. How? Through professional excellency, integrity, and most of all, a spirit of service. As we sum up at AESE, we say that AESE Business School, our school, we forge leaders to whom we can entrust the future either of the business, but also the future of society. In our school, we carried our mission through transformative programs, either open or in company, and the dynamic lifelong learning program engaging our more than 8,000 alumni. So far, everything of that was face-to-face. Every program was face-to-face, every in-company was face-to-face, and every lifelong learning section was face-to-face. We also think it's important the face-to-face, or we used to say it was important the face-to-face, because we, in our programs, we use a wide variety of methodologies, but we are really fan of the case methodology because it's alive, interactive, and very comprehensive learning process. And we believe it is the most adequate to professional students and executives. Regarding the preparation of the leaders, we think it is important to contemplate both, in one hand, the development of personal attitudes, in one hand, of distinctive attitudes to deal with the context in one side, and also with its own vulnerability, the vulnerability of the leader, but also on the other hand, with acquisition of critical knowledge. 10 years ago could be some critical knowledge. Nowadays, it's a different knowledge, and in far future, it will be a different knowledge. But it is always an acquisition of critical knowledge that is important, and that allows themselves to better analyze either the situations, to foresee the alternatives, and make the better decision in each case. And then COVID appears. And in March 2020, COVID-19 reached also Portugal. In a matter of days, in our school, we closed the school. And in doing so, we had to consider what being closed meant to the whole AESE community, meaning to our staff, to our faculty, and to our alumni. And suddenly, during the pandemic, we switched to most of our programs to online format. And I think that was the first lesson we learned. I say most of our programs because we realized very quickly that some executive education programs, namely those that rely heavily on networking, cannot be accomplished online. Moving programs to online changed the way we deliver classes and even the way we encourage our students to prepare for those classes. We invested in creating virtual classrooms that are basically TV studios. We trained our faculty to make the most out of the technology, to reinvent themselves, and to reimagine the learning experience. Programs online need a completely different mindset. And I think that's also an important takeaway. In order to be able to deliver the best possible learning experience tailored to a live online format. We don't have a synchronous online format. We just have live online formats. But even for live online format, if I teach a case in face-to-face, and teaching a case on a live online format is completely different, and teachers must have a different mindset. I think that was a very tough yet very relevant lesson we have learned. We also trained our staff because doing all the administrative processes and all the support process online is very different from completely from doing it at the school. It's a completely different way of working. But we also have seen, or we also have confirmed that online learning has great advantages. It has turned out to be an unbelievable opportunity. And I think it's the good way to see it. It's a huge opportunity. You have also highlighted that. First, we have been able to expand to new markets by bringing programs to other Portuguese-speaking countries, for instance, such as Angola, Cape Verde, and Mozambique. We wouldn't reach those countries if not online. We also have expanded our portfolio with new digital and blended programs, namely, for instance, for international programs. For those countries I have mentioned, we delivered online programs. But for instance, for customized programs for in-companies, the blended format is very good. We also expand our service to our clients, those who are already our clients. For instance, right now, we are carrying out a global program to a major Portuguese bank, bringing together people from all continents, from Timor, from Europe, from Africa, and from Brazil. Finally, we have enriched our programs by being able to have very special guest speakers connected online to the classroom, something that was not possible in a face-to-face format. So, summing up, we have expanded our market, we have expanded our portfolio, we have expanded the service to our clients, and finally, we have enriched our programs. I think those four advantages are really nice opportunities for the online format. For example, amidst these challenging times, AESE celebrated a landmark moment, our 14th anniversary. Previous anniversaries, we have been celebrating with networking and sharing knowledge with a huge number of people together. The challenge was now to reimagine everything, maintaining the same standard, but online. And I think I'm proud to share that our alumni gathering took place online on the 15th June of 2021 and gathered more than 8,000 participants, 800 participants throughout the whole day. It was a virtual learning experience with relevant networking, supported by a high standard technological infrastructure. And everything of that is important. I think it's a good learning experience, a relevant networking, and a high standard technological support. Both of them are key to a very good experience. And from that, the school received, I think, a overwhelming positive feedback. I really think that through the pandemic, we have changed and greatly enriched our learning offerings. But at the same time, we realized something very special, and that is that the culture of the school has been reinforced. Our values have been reinforced. I think changed, ignited us. We understood very quickly that no matter what format or channel we were using, we must continue to have a unique way of educating leaders and accomplishing our mission. In fact, I think that the business schools were already changing before the pandemic. Drivers such as the digital revolution, the globalization, the innovative business models, and even the vast discussion around the future of work, all those trends were already driving the reimagination of the higher education. With the pandemic, what happened? We just had to change at an accelerated pace and on several fronts. I mean, modalities, curricula, contents, etc., etc. In the near future, I believe that the option of either online or face-to-face training will be no longer a mandatory choice as it was during the pandemic, and it will become a corporate or personal decision. The choice will be made by evaluating both things. From one side, the learning experience offered by the school, and on the other side, considering the individual or corporative training objectives. So I trust that all formats will be used, albeit oriented to accomplish different learning objectives, either because of evaluating the learning experience, either by evaluating the match between the individual and corporate training objectives and the objectives of the program. 10 years from now, I imagine we'll be offering different programs and learning initiatives in different ways and dealing with different business models and especially with societal challenges. But the ethos of the school, as well as its value for the business and for society, shall remain. We will be, as we are now, forging, I believe so, forging the leaders for the present and for the future. While reinventing ourselves as business schools, we should do a two-step change process, I believe. First of all, what we should think just at the beginning is what we think must not change. Not what we have to change, but in principle, what we must not change. And one thing that must not change is, no doubt of it, the human touch in our school. Caring about each other, standing by our alumni, reinforcing our shared values, engaging with the faculty and the staff. That should never change. It's our identity. And only after that, secondly, think of what we can and must change. We all have proven that about our capacity to adapt to an enormous, completely different world. And that is why we can and should dare to innovate. Balancing between those two dimensions, and in the correct order. So first understanding what is perennial, while in the secondly, gaining the ability to adapt and innovate creatively, I think is the equation that will keep us resilient and bringing success to our school. The school is changing right now, is still changing its process. Some of our school culture is also changing. Some of our programs, but mission, it remains the same. We prepare our students throughout their lives to be leaders to whom we can entrust the future. That mission, which is AESE mission, which is my mission, it must and will go on. Finally, we will do so because we really believe that leadership is crucial for humanity. It's crucial for the way to create the future, and the future we want it to be a brighter future for everyone, healthy firms, a sustainable economy, and a more inclusive society. So, just finishing the presentation. Thank you, and Dr. Diva, I pass you the voice.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your journey, your challenges faced, mission, values, and the best practices adopted by AESE University, Portugal, with the audience. I'm sure this was very enlightening for the audience to know about the transformations that are happening globally and how the universities are taking them. I would now like to speak a few words about our dear Dr. Priya Mary Mathew. Dr. Mathew has been serving higher education sector since 2002. She has metamorphosed from lecturer to academic strategist. Thanks to the wide spectrum of responsibilities she has handled in the last 2 decades. Naming a few are excellent teacher, ACE curriculum designer, researcher, faculty developer, virtual learning, instruction designer, quality manager, online facilitator, VR-enabled game designer, and international alliance promoter. She affirms that teachers have the power to mold an entire generation, and that's the power she uses as a service to the humanity. Ma'am has been an advocate of HBOE, that is hybrid blended online education, for the last 8 years. Over to you, ma'am, to set the context of the entire conference.
Thank you so much, Divya. I've been waiting to speak. I hope I'm audible. This is Amity Global Online Education Conference, one of its kind, a huge marathon 10-hour conference. We will take you from India with Portugal. The next session is on internationality, and I had to struggle to get the two speakers, one from Australia and the other from America. How do I bring the two time zones together? And there, it is the online virtual platform that makes it possible. So within next 1 hour, can you imagine having experts from two corners of the world? So this is the Goliath power of online education. And I'm a huge evangelist of what educators can do and how that can be augmented, accelerated with the power of online. Online education is not the poorer cousin to any other format of education. Online format is an enabler, an energizer, and you just cannot ignore that platform. So what can you expect? So after this session, you will have a talk on how you can achieve internationality within the online education. That will happen in Indian time 10 to 11. And from 11 to 1 o'clock, we have a dozen of academicians coming up and talking to you how they innovated and found breakthroughs by using online tools in multidisciplinary courses, right from engineering to mathematics to logistics to fashion to design. And voila, how can you gain that kind of multidisciplinary knowledge in one go? It can happen only in online medium. After that, we have a lunch break, but why do you need a dull lunch break? So during the lunch break, I invite all the audience, all the participants, just like you would have done in any other physical conference, you would have chatted with each other. So please join the breakout rooms. In the home page, there is something called rooms, and from 1 to 2, there is one room open. So come there and share your takeaways, your thoughts out of the 2 sessions which you would have seen by then. Post lunch, there is a forum for all the employers and those who are looking for employability. So we have huge human resource stalwarts. You can look into their profile in the homepage, one from Reliance, other from Forbes Marshall, and one from Canada. So how can online education help you in increasing employability, but not only for students? How can we educators, the enablers, the builders of online education, how should we plan our programs, and what kind of product portfolio can we bring on the table to enhance and build the capacity of people around us? After that, we have a small tea break. The tea break follows with all strategic and thought leaders. So we have thought leaders specifically from South Africa. So we have 3 people from South Africa, from African continent, not just South Africa. And we go there and we hear from them what they have done, and there would be an amalgamation that is a panel discussion. So is the employer session is also a panel discussion. So in the panel discussion, I believe a lot of ideas will germinate, and some of them will also find seed and grow very much in our soil, which is the Amity soil. And towards the end, by the way, before the end, there is a 1.5 hour breakthrough session, and we have more than 3,000 attendees who have shown interest. So all of you will get emailers with the login IDs, which you have provided us, and hop into the breakout rooms and please co-create with us the magic, and let us have how you can contribute or how we can support you out there. So the end of this entire conference will happen at 6:30 Indian time, where we have speakers from a traditional university who's gone blended and an online education global training partner who train educators from across all the continent. And of course, you will have me and my gurus, Professor Abhinash, and if chairman, Mr. Ajit Chauhan has time, he will also love to jump in and conclude the show. And we will have the final takeaways late in the evening at 7:30 p.m. So that's the day for you. Over to you, Dr. Divya.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing the entire schedule of the conference. Your valuable insights on online education will surely remain very close to our hearts. Now, let us all of us meet again at 10 a.m. session Indian time, and lend our ears to some of the international speakers. We have Professor Helmet from Torrance University and Professor Joe, and they will be sharing their insights on online education. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Divya. Thank you, Dr. Priya.
Thank you.
Dr. Priya, it's Dr. Maria's commitment that she's up at 4 o'clock in the morning in Portugal to attend this conference. So what an amazing commitment by you, Dr. Maria.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's Friday night. It's Friday night.
Okay, so so either you're up very late or up very early.
Up very late.
Okay, great.
So Dr.
Okay.
Maria's article in Harvard Business is what attracted me to her. Thank you, Dr. Maria, for immediately accepting the
You are welcome.
invitation.
And I'm looking forward to collaborating even further. Okay.
Absolutely.
We'll
Absolutely.
keep in touch.
Yes,
Okay.
we will definitely keep in touch. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Abhinashji and sir, if you could join the next session. I'm going there along with Divya, if you have time.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.